I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Hey, what's poppin', my homies? Hope you're doing well, feeling blessed, having a good day, having a good week. We're back again with another full card breakdown and prediction video. This time it's going to be Buckley versus Usman. And before we get into the breakdown, we checked my bets on the Patreon from last week. I said on the card, we're going to make some money. We're going to do that. And we did. We had 2 trebles and both trebles got it done. Both trebles won. And shout out to anyone on the Patreon who was risky enough to put all 6 selections in one ticket. Now, for anyone that wants to know how many bets I've got on this card, I always keep that information updated in the pinned comment below. Alright guys, let's get it. UFC Atlanta, let's go. First matchup on the card, we've got Jamey-Lyn Horth taking on Vanessa, Lil Monster, Demopoulos. So here's the thing about this matchup. Vanessa Demopoulos, she's stepping up a weight class, which in my opinion, that's not a good idea, especially on short notice. She got destroyed in her last fight by Talita Alencar. Talita Alencar got takedowns whenever she wanted and controlled the whole fight from the beginning to the end. Now Vanessa Demopoulos, she's primarily a grappler and she typically wants takedowns in her performances. That's what a grappler is. Now how does she get takedowns against someone like Jamey-Lyn Horth, someone who's much bigger and stronger than Vanessa Demopoulos? I know Jamey-Lyn Horth isn't the most entertaining fighter that there is, but she's pretty good in the clinch. She can strike off the break. Good knees, good elbows in the clinch against the fence. Her body kicks and head kicks are also pretty good at times. I can't really see Jamey-Lyn Horth losing to a short notice strawweight. So for me personally guys, I'm going to side with Jamey-Lyn Horth to win this fight over 15 minutes on the judges' scorecards. 30-27, maybe 129-28. But yeah, Jamey-Lyn Horth to win this fight in my opinion. So that's the first pick. Next matchup on the card, we've got Ange taking on Phil Rowe. Guys, I've got to be entirely honest with you. Over the last 3 cards, there's been 33 fights, and I've correctly picked 28 of them. I got 11 out of 13 on my last card, UFC 316. I got 8 out of 9 on Barber versus Blanchfield, and I got 9 out of 11 on Morales versus Burns. I kind of feel that a fight between Ange and Phil Rowe is maybe going to be an incorrect pick for me because I have no idea who wins this fight. I've got no idea. It feels like a 50-50 type of fight. Phil Rowe isn't that active, but I think his boxing's pretty good. His cardio is pretty bad, and his grappling is kind of good. But I'm not entirely sure that Phil Rowe is UFC caliber. But here's the thing guys, Ange he's at a disadvantage with the height and reach. So Phil Rowe at times in this fight is going to find it much easier to find the target than Ange Look at the way Ange quit against Brian Battle. He got dusted in that fight. Look at the way AJ Fletcher and Reese Mcgee both started to find big success, big striking success against Ange late in the fight when Losa was completely exhausted. I guess my prediction in this fight is going to be Ange wins round 1, Phil Rowe wins round 2, and then in the final round we get a back and forth fight. A back and forth round between Ange and Phil Rowe, and I think Phil Rowe maybe has the slightly better striking moments in that final round when it's tied 1-1. So my prediction is going to be Phil Rowe to win this fight. I think he's going to win via split decision. I think he's going to win a very, very close fight if we go 15 minutes. I'm taking Phil Rowe via split. We've got to make some underdog predictions on this card, and it feels like Phil Rowe as a plus 110. That might smack. That might smack. Next matchup, we've got Ricky Simón taking on Cameron Smotherman. So unlike the fight we just broke down, I've got a fairly good idea who's going to win this fight. Ricky Simón is a minus 400 in this fight. I'd have to agree. I'd have to agree with those betting odds. Ricky Simón has so much more experience than Cameron Smotherman. Ricky Simón has amazing cardio, amazing wrestling, the wrestling of an American, the heart of a Mexican. Cameron Smotherman is also taking this fight on short notice, which I do respect him for. But it's probably a loss on the resume for Cameron Smotherman. Now, Cameron Smotherman does have sharp boxing. His boxing's pretty good, and he defied the odds on short notice against Jake Hadley. But Ricky Simón on short notice is a much more difficult task for someone like Cameron Smotherman. Ricky's cardio is just too good. His pace and pressure is just too good. His ground control, his submission game, it's going to be too much for Cameron Smotherman. So my prediction has to be Ricky Simón via submission. I actually think he stops Cameron Smotherman in this fight. And I think it's a good win, a nice win for Ricky Simón. Next matchup, we've got Cody Durden taking on Jose Ochoa. I'm not going to lie, this is a good fight. This is a nice fight, a good fight to think about, and somewhat of a tough prediction to make. Let's first speak about Cody Durden. Now, Cody Durden, he's a veteran. He's got way more experience than Jose Ochoa. He's certainly the better wrestler, certainly the better ground fighter than his opponent. However, guys, there is times where Cody Durden abandons his wrestling and falls into a barn burner on the feet, which in my opinion, and in most people's opinions, isn't a smart idea for Cody Durden. It's clear to see that Cody Durden is at his absolute best when he simply implements a strong wrestling game plan for his opponent. Because guys, on the feet, when he gets tired, his hands drop, exposing his chin. He's defensively bad on the feet. He's never been good on the feet defensively. He's very hittable. And there's also times where Cody Durden, he's winning the fight, then he just gives away the round because he starts exchanging with his opponent in the stand-up. Now, Jose Ochoa, he's inexperienced compared to Cody Durden. However, he's pretty good in the stand-up. He's got crispy striking combinations that could certainly work against someone like Cody Durden, especially when Cody Durden starts to get tired and exchange on the feet with his opponents. But I think it's pretty obvious what this fight comes down to. It comes down to, will Cody Durden wrestle? Will he just wrestle in this fight, round in, round out, minute in, minute out? Will he wrestle from the very start of the fight to the end? Because if Cody Durden does that from the start to the finish, he's potentially an underdog winner on this card. Now, if Jose Ochoa can work back to the feet and bring Cody Durden into that barn burner on the feet, which all the fans in Atlanta want to see, let's be real. The fans want to see a barn burner. They want to see a great fight. And Cody Durden, he may give the Atlanta fans what they want to see. Now, if Jose Ochoa can bring him into that barn burner, he's got a very, very decent chance at winning his first fight in the UFC. Gun to the head. It feels like a gun to the head type prediction. I'm going to pick Jose Ochoa to win this fight on the judges' scorecards. I just feel Cody Durden, he's going to wrestle, then abandon the wrestling and give the fans what they want to see. A barn burner, a rock'em sock'em robots fight on the feet. And at times, Cody Durden loses when it's like that. So I'm going to pick Jose Ochoa to win this fight to get his first UFC win. That's my pick. Next matchup, we've got Kris Moutinho taking on Wellmaker. And guys, it's absolutely diabolical to bring back Kris Moutinho so he can get dusted by Wellmaker. Diabolical. Here's the options with this fight. Wellmaker KO TKO round 1, Wellmaker KO TKO round 2, Wellmaker KO TKO round 3, or Wellmaker via decision. Those are your 4 options with this fight. Now, some people are going to claim Wellmaker round 1 KO TKO just like his UFC debut. Some people are going to say Kris Moutinho just about tough enough to absorb the damage in round 1 and it's a round 2 KO TKO for Wellmaker. And some people are going to say Kris Moutinho, he's tough enough to absorb damage for 10 minutes, making it a KO TKO in round 3 for Wellmaker. Then you're going to have people say Kris Moutinho, he's so tough, he's going to take damage for the whole fight, making it a Wellmaker points decision. All 4 options are kind of likely, but I'm going to take Wellmaker KO TKO in round 2. I do believe Kris Moutinho, he's tough enough to survive round 1, but I can't really see him making it past round 2. So I'm going to say Wellmaker KO TKO in the second round. And like I say, it's absolutely diabolical to bring back Kris Moutinho so Wellmaker can dust him up. But his boxing's so nice. It's so nice, man. The jab, the 1-2, the counter, the hand position of Wellmaker. It's nice stuff. But like I say, diabolical to dust up Kris Moutinho again to a prospect. Guys, it is absolutely diabolical to have Michael Chiesa versus Mcgee taking place after Wellmaker nearly detonates Kris Moutinho. Absolutely diabolical. So here's the thing though. Michael Chiesa, he's an elite grappler, a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I did bet him at plus money against Max Griffin, and he done exactly what he was supposed to do to win that fight. And I kind of feel that Mcgee, he should be retired. His performances, they're not good enough. He's lost his pace and pressure. He's lost his output. He's not really performing at the level that he used to perform at. So I'm going to pick Michael Chiesa to win this fight. I'm not entirely sure he submits Mcgee. So I'll take Michael Chiesa to win this fight on the judges' scorecards. But like I say, This fight right here, this matchup right here, absolutely diabolical. Maybe the theme of the breakdown can be diabolical instead of dusted. But yeah, that's my prediction. I'm going to take Michael Chiesa. Next matchup, we've got Paul Craig taking on Rodolfo Bellato, and my next prediction has to be Rodolfo Bellato, because Paul Craig has 0 boxing, 0 wrestling, 0 chin durability, 0 cardio. The only thing Paul Craig's ever been good at is jiu-jitsu. He's an elite Hail Mary submission artist, and he's winning fights in the UFC being so one-dimensional, which is absolutely diabolical. But guys, Rodolfo Bellato somehow nearly dies in every fight, then survives and takes over, which is kind of what Paul Craig does. Now, Rodolfo Bellato has heavy calf kicks, heavy punches for the dusty chin of Paul Craig. So although Paul Craig has that submission possibility, my prediction has to be Rodolfo Bellato via round 1 KO TKO. Someone's going to get dusted. Someone's getting dusted. Who's it going to be? I think it's going to be Paul Craig. So I'm going to take Rodolfo Bellato via KO TKO. Next matchup, we've got Alonzo Menifield taking on Oumar C. And it's kind of crazy seeing Alonzo Menifield as a 5-1 underdog. Don't get me wrong, guys. I think Oumar C's a real prospect. His striking is technically sharp. His wrestling's good to go. His submission game is pretty good. I think Oumar C's definitely a prospect for the future. And I do believe he wins this fight against Alonzo Menifield. But the odds, they do seem kind of wide. Now, Alonzo Menifield, in my opinion, is pretty one-dimensional. He's going to try a few Hail Mary bombs to get that KO stoppage. If he doesn't find the stoppage, he's going to get tired. Because, guys, there's only so many of those bombs that you can really throw before you start to slow down, before you start to become tired. And I'm guessing midway into round 2, that's where we see the fatigue of Alonzo Menifield. And at that point, I do see Oumar C looking for the takedown, looking to use his wrestling against a tired Alonzo Menifield, then searching for a stoppage on the canvas. It could be a ground and pound stoppage, it could be a submission, but I do believe Oumar C wins this fight inside the distance against the veteran Alonzo Menifield. But I do wish the odds were more realistic. You know, this ain't a layup fight for Oumar C. This ain't a walk in the park. Alonzo Menifield is a very dangerous puncher, and the odds aren't really suggesting that. But I do think Oumar C is very well rounded. I think he's a prospect. And I do think he finds a stoppage against the veteran Alonzo Menifield. So my prediction has to be Oumar C inside the distance. Next matchup, we've got Cody Brundage taking on Mansour Abdul-Malik. And Cody Brundage, he's got more experience than his opponent. He's got very decent jiu-jitsu. And he's coming off a nice stoppage in the co-main event against a very decent Julian Marquez, against a veteran. But in my opinion, he's getting stopped. He's getting dusted by Mansour Abdul-Malik. Now, Mansour Abdul-Malik is inexperienced compared to Cody Brundage, but if we're looking at pure potential, Malik has great potential, whereas Cody Brundage being in the UFC, still to this day, it feels absolutely diabolical. Look at the ground and pound of Mansour Abdul-Malik. If Cody Brundage fails on a takedown, or even gets taken to the ground by Mansour, the ground and pound stoppage of Mansour Abdul-Malik, it feels very live in this fight. And in my opinion, that's exactly what's going to happen in this fight. I'm going to take Mansour Abdul-Malik to find that KO TKO either in round 1 or round 2. I think Mansour via complete dusteration. That's the pick. Next matchup, we've got Cody Garbrandt taking on Raoni Barcelos. A very decent matchup, and I'm very torn on this fight. I'm not entirely sure who's going to win this matchup. It's a very tough pick to make. Now, Cody Garbrandt, in my opinion, has the sharper boxing, but Raoni Barcelos has nice footwork, nice calf kicks, and definitely the better grappling. Cody Garbrandt, in my opinion, is past his prime, and so is Raoni Barcelos. Now, Cody Garbrandt has been suffering with vertigo. He had vertigo in his last fight against Figueiredo, and that's why he hasn't fought in over a year. Whereas Raoni Barcelos, he's coming off a very nice win, a nice upset win against Peyton Talbot. He showed his experience in that fight, completely dominated Peyton Talbot with his black belt in jiu-jitsu. Now, my prediction in this matchup is going to be similar to Phil Rowe and Ange Loosa. I think it's going to be a very, very close fight. I think it's going to be tied going into that final round. I'm not sure who wins round 1. I'm not sure who wins round 2. But I do feel it's very possible that it's going to be 1-1 going into that final round. And I'm going to predict Raoni Barcelos to win this fight via split. I think it's going to be a very, very close fight between Cody Garbrandt and Raoni Barcelos. I think the boxing advantage, it goes to Cody. I think the grappling and kicking advantage, it goes to Barcelos. I think both of them are going to be tired past round 2. They're both past their prime. It's a tough prediction to make, but I'm going to side with the Brazilian, Raoni Barcelos, and I'm going to say it's a split. So my second split prediction on this card, my first split, Phil Rowe. My second split, Raoni Barcelos. Next matchup, we've got Edmen Shahbazyan taking on Andre Petroski. As we know with Edmen Shahbazyan, his cardio is atrocious. His cardio is absolutely diabolical. So anyone betting money on Edmen Shahbazyan, you've got to pray for an early stoppage or pray that Edmen keeps his cardio in check. Now, if we go past round 1, Edmen is potentially in trouble, especially if Petroski can push him against the fence and make him work in that Greco-Roman wrestling position that the fans find so boring. Or even better, guys, Petroski gets a takedown and makes Edmen work on the ground, which some fans still find boring, but less boring than those wrestling positions against the fence. If either of those things happen, there's a very good chance that Edmen's cardio, once again, is going to fail him. And to be honest, guys, it's another matchup that I'm pretty torn on because I believe Edmen has by far the better striking ability in this fight. And he can certainly get a KO TKO stoppage against Andre Petroski. He can do that. But guys, if we go past round 1, that cardio, it's a real liability. So I'm going to make an underdog prediction on Andre Petroski. He's a black belt. He's good on the ground. He's a good wrestler. He's in form. And he knows that if he pushes Edmen against the fence or brings him to the ground and just makes Edmen tired, he knows he can win this fight. But round 1, if Edmen finds that KO TKO in round 1, then all the credit, man, because he's a good striker. He knows how to strike. We see that against Budka in his last fight. But I'm going to side with Andre Petroski as the underdog on this card. My second underdog prediction on this card. That's the pick. The co-main event, we've got a fight between the former champion Thug Rose Namajunas and Miranda Fear the Maverick. Guys, I'm going to simplify this matchup. If we stay kickboxing, Rose is going to win this fight and easily. If Miranda Maverick does what she usually does and gets some takedowns, goes to work on the ground, then it's very possible that Miranda Maverick can win this co-main event. And that's not to say that Rose Namajunas doesn't have the grappling ability. She understands the ground game. She has good jiu-jitsu. But at times, you can win that fight against Rose Namajunas. You want to grapple against someone like Rose. You want to implement some takedowns, get her against the fence, bring her to the ground. You don't want to strike with Rose Namajunas. You don't want to do that. And I do feel that Miranda Maverick is kind of predictable in the sense that her game plan, it doesn't really change. Her game plan is typically the same thing every single time. But I do like that in this fight because you know she's not going to try kickbox against a 2-time former world champion. She's going to look for takedowns. She's going to look to bring Rose Namajunas to the canvas where she can implement her grappling and wrestling. So guys, for me, I'm going to make my third underdog prediction. I'm going to take Miranda Maverick to win as a plus 200 against the former champion, against the fan favourite Thug Rose Namajunas. I'm going to take Miranda Maverick as the big underdog. She was over plus 250, but some money coming in on Fear the Maverick. So that's my prediction. I'm going to take Miranda Maverick to get it done against the former world champion, the fan favourite Thug Rose Namajunas. The main event, and what a main event we've got here in Atlanta. We've got the former champion and one of the most dominant welterweights of all time, Kamaru Usman. And on the flip side, we've got Joaquin Buckley. Now, here's the thing. Usman is past his prime. I'm not saying he can't win this fight, and I'm not saying he's a walk in the park, but I am saying he's past his prime in 2025. Now, Joaquin Buckley on the flip side is one of the most evolved UFC fighters on the roster. He's not just a power puncher in 2025. His footwork is very good these days. He's become very calm and composed, and he doesn't feel the need to always be in the pocket. He chooses the right times to blitz in and land those big punches. He's evolving. His cardio's better these days simply because he's not constantly throwing bombs and he's not constantly looking to stay in the pocket. He's become a real problem in the 170 division, and he's now getting the biggest test of his life, the opportunity to headline a card against one of the most respected welterweights of all time, the former champion Kamaru Usman. Now guys, I do have my concerns on Buckley, and I also have concerns on the former champion, Usman. Now, the two concerns that I've got for Joaquin Buckley, the first concern, he doesn't rise to the occasion. The occasion gets the better of him, which is something that's certainly possible. The second concern, I feel the jab of Usman could be a major problem for Joaquin Buckley, especially if he doesn't rise to the occasion. That Usman jab is so educated, it's so sharp, and if Buckley isn't locked in, if he's nervous on the night, he might get destroyed by the Usman jab. That jab is a problem. Now, the concerns I've got for Usman, obviously the footwork, it's not the same these days. He can't wrestle the way he used to wrestle. And I also feel that his cardio these days may not be 25-minute cardio. Now, having said my concerns on both sides, I'm going to predict that Joaquin Buckley wins this main event. I just feel that Usman isn't as locked in as Joaquin Buckley, and the will to win is equally as important as technical skill, maybe more important than technical skill. So my prediction has to be Joaquin Buckley, the rising contender, to rise to the occasion in Atlanta in the main event against the former champion Kamaru Usman. I'm going to take Joaquin Buckley to get it done. I don't think he's going to stop Kamaru Usman. I think it goes 25 minutes, and I feel that the cardio of Usman, as I've mentioned, it may not be 25-minute cardio, and I do feel that Joaquin Buckley over 25 minutes slightly gets the better of Usman. So that's my pick. As always, my homies, drop down your main event, your co-main event, your Money City straight bets, your doubles, your parlays, all that good stuff. Drop in the comment section below. And as always, keep your eyes to the sky and never glued to your shoes. Peace.